Hi everybody, I'm back doing some more inequality graphing. So we are graphing coordinate grids and we are doing similar to y equals mx plus b, but these are inequalities, so they're a little bit different. So when we're looking at this, we do see the -5, so we just, like we would with a regular graph, you would start at the y-intercept at -5. And then we look at the graph here. Now, this is important that we are focusing on because this inequality symbol, there's no line underneath it, which means that it is going to end up being a dotted line instead of a solid line. So when I'm graphing, it's going to look kind of like this one is like a little dotted line. So I'm going to go ahead. Now, this is not in a fraction form, so I'm going to put this over a 1. Anytime you have no fraction, just put the number over 1. That tells you how you can move on the graph. So if we're going to go up to over 1, and then you put a dot, and then you can keep going up to over 1, up to over 1, up to over 1, up to over 1, and then I'm going to end up off my graph. If I do it any other direction, it's not going to work because I'm going to fall off the graph. So now instead of just connecting the solid line, because of this, again, not having a line under it, if you look at this one up here, you can see there's a line underneath, and that's why I did a solid line here. This does not have a solid line underneath it, so I'm going to make a dotted line. So what I am going to do, as you can see, I'm just kind of making a set of dotted points here. I'm just kind of making it so they're not connected. And then I'm going to put arrows on both ends. So that's the first thing. Now we're going to look at which way the shading is. Again, this says y is greater than. So anytime it says y is greater than, we shade above the line. So this is just going to get shaded up here. And again, if you get stuck and you're not really sure how that works, you can just take a test point. I always try to do 0, 0 if at all possible. And if not, use just a simple set of easy numbers. And you always want to make sure you don't use anything that falls on that line because that's not a good spot to use. You always want to use either one side of the plane or the other side of the plane. If I plugged 0, 0, this is my test point right here. So 0, 0. If I plug 0 in here and 0 in here and test this out to see if it works, it would say that 0 is greater than 2 times 0, which is 0, minus 5, so that would be minus 5. And is 0 greater than -5? The answer is yes. So that means that that's a true statement, so that's the side I would shade. And if it's not the true statement, then what I would do is shade the opposite side. Let me just bring you over here to the graphing calculator so you can kind of see what happens. And as you can see, I have this kind of set up from the last problem. So I'm just going to change this from a negative x to a positive 2x. Now the minus y was the same, or the minus b, I should say. So that was what we have graphed. As you can see, there is my graph. It matches up exactly how mine did. And this is how you can check it on Desmos or a graphing calculator. If you want more questions like this, you can find them on my YouTube channel, Algebra. Check these out under my graphing inequalities section.